What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to the meditations for our most recent Star Wars Shatterpoint battle report. Anakin Skywalker and the Grand Inquisitor against Count Dooku and Lord Maul. And very nice bit of a nail-biter of a game there. Yep. I think up until the last couple turns, it was really anyone's game. And, it came down to that stupid priority thing, favoring one side more than the other a little bit. But then you were able to get the tools for it. It was a win for Anakin and the Grand Inquisitor. Very, very tight game, though. Very, very good game. I want to start off this discussion because we're playing Sabotage Showdown.
Yes.
And how do you feel about it over shifting priorities?
I think it's nice that it's different. It's nice being able to play something different.
Yes.
The map layout's definitely interesting. I'm not a huge fan of how the first struggle, the map layout's always the same. It's very predictable in that sense. But I do think having the extra point turned on that early doesn't make it as swingy as I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult to kind of pull comebacks on that, but we still had a really good long drawn out first struggle.
Your first scoring turn was 4 points, right? It's like that's a lot right off the hop.
But because you had 2 back points of your own, you were able to keep up with it really, really well. So it wasn't like that first turn of 4 points just basically guaranteed it for me like it would in the old mission. So I think in that regard, it's really good. I think the Shatterpoint twist is interesting, but doesn't feel like it's impactful enough over the course of the game.
I think my biggest disappointment with the Shatterpoint twist is the fact that it's the same, yes, and I know exactly what you're thinking of right now. It's the same 3 tactics abilities. And so what Jason is just realizing, he could have dashed with...
So my top card was the Shatterpoint. Instead of pulling Anakin from reserve, he could have dashed and had the double attack into Sabotage at the end instead of having to burn a move action.
Because you could have dashed, then you could have climbed.
Which would have almost guaranteed it.
Oh, yeah, 2 attacks from Anakin. But, I mean, you still got it through. You had a great final roll. You added drama and tension to the whole thing there. But, the tactics abilities granted by the mission just... The fact that it's the same 3 on all 3 struggles.
That, and the fact that, in some struggles, you don't hit a Shatterpoint. In Struggle 2, I don't think we hit a Shatterpoint.
I honestly don't remember.
Because Struggle 2, well, first of all, our Struggle 2 was very, very quick this game.
It was.
But, the Shatterpoint tactic ability is going to come up maybe a couple times in a round, maybe 3 if you're really lucky. And that doesn't feel like it's quite impactful enough to really feel like the game plays all that much differently with it.
Now, if the one you have is always the dash, that just feels great.
The dash is huge. The dash is by far the most impactful one.
Yeah. But no, it's a little unfortunate. I had a lot of high hopes for this mission pack. I think the way I'm going to sum it up is actually what one of our locals said to me after playing it. On paper, it looks really disappointing.
Yeah. In
practice, it doesn't feel bad.
No,
and I think a lot of it comes down to I actually really like the new layout.
The different shape?
Yeah, the different shape feels really nice because on shifting priorities, if you have someone over here taking this point and all of a sudden this point turns off and that point turns on, well, these guys over here are useless. They're not doing anything for you, right?
The distance between the 2 furthest points is a little more consolidated. There's a little bit more relevance across the board. I mean, this game was a terrible example of that because we totally had models sectioned off over here that didn't affect that side, but that was kind of just the way we set things up early on. That was kind of our own fault.
Moving the Magna Guard up there with expectations that maybe that one would be active would have been a different game.
Oh yeah, that would have
totally
been a
different game at that point. But yeah, it's just everything feels a lot more close quarters. I feel like we had a Star Wars fight.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
This was great.
Look at all the friggin' lightsabers over here, man. That was great.
No, that was fantastic. Just the amount of just pure carnage that happened on this spot was amazing.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I actually had fun with this one. And that's not to say I haven't enjoyed previous games with you, but this particular scenario, I hope it's not just because it's a fresh mission, but I actually kind of had fun engaging with it.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that the novelty will wear off and it'll very quickly start to feel like the other one. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But I do feel, because we've talked about this off camera, that it feels a little weird that right now there's still only 2 missions.
Yes.
It would have been nice if there had been 2 or 3 in this pack instead of just 1 more.
Just a couple more variations, something that allows you to actually build some different teams, right? But okay. So anyway, that's the Sabotage Showdown. As far as the team go, do you have a moment of the game for you, aside from Anakin winning the game?
I mean, Anakin was just the star of the show all day. I mean, he was fantastic. I think he got me 3 victory points over the course of this game, which is not something I ever expected to say.
I was actually just going to ask how many actual activations did he have?
I think he had 3, and I think he got 3 victory points.
Yeah. No, and you know what? This shape facilitated it, right?
It definitely did. It helped him in a big way. Anakin felt like the star of the show, which was fantastic. Ahsoka near the end actually being relevant was nice, but it didn't actually matter what she rolled really all that much.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And then Pons just with his,
Pons was there.
I'm going to take out Django, and then proceeds to do 7 damage for some reason or whatever it was.
Yeah, Pons was just kind of there. I think you had some good moments. Yeah, Anakin felt really cool and fun to play.
Yeah.
Which was really kind of nice. I would say like Django, I had some really good.
Django was great.
With. Dooku really showed up. I think my meme thing was just the friggin' bounty hunter showing up and murking fourth sister.
How you doing?
And then just not doing anything for the rest of the game.
Yeah, right? Well, then you had to reserve them because they had no real lane of play after that.
Because with where I left them, if I just like slightly altered it, I could have gotten them.
But then they wouldn't have
had
their shots on sister. And,
But yeah, that was kind of a fun one. But there was some cool moments in there. I like what Maul did. I think Maul came in and just
Maul was a menace in a game where this dragged out a little longer, and we ended up going through the deck again. I was definitely thinking, like, if I didn't see the path to victory with Anakin there, the goal was going to be take down Maul so he leaves the table the next time you activate him.
Which I think is totally fair.
But, of course, that we didn't get that far. This game ended in under 2 decks.
You know what the irony is? If I hadn't been greedy with, like, Sabotage, I could have placed him right there and move blocked Anakin. I wasn't thinking...
with the dash, I would have been able to jump up there anyways.
You would have had to remember that in the Shatterpoint, though.
Yes.
Which, based on our discussions, I don't think either of us remembered that particular aspect. But I could have moved block you a little bit just to make it a little bit more difficult, right?
Yep. Well, at the time, I genuinely, we measured this, but I wasn't even sure that Anakin would be contesting from there. I just assumed he wasn't.
Because that would have been... Oh, I guess you still would have taken the point because Fifth Brother's still standing, would have been tied and all this sort of stuff. But, yeah, no, there was lots of really great moments in the game. I had a lot of fun with it, which is really nice because there's been some games where I felt really kind of salty and down at the end of it. But this particular one, I felt like there was a lot of really good back and forth. I felt like my characters were always able to get out and interact with you, which was really nice. And I think that's always been one of my problems with the game is with shifting priorities, I feel like there's been situations where I haven't been able to interact. In some cases.
No, I agree.
I mean, over here, when I pulled Dooku, I'm like, what can I do? And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, I can dash over here, climb up, walk over here, and punch fourth sister.
Yep.
Cool.
And that was super relevant.
Because the points were close enough, right?
Yeah, well, you pulled Dooku, and my immediate thought was like, oh, well, that sucks. I guess this is my game. And then you actually did something with him, and I was like, hey, this is good.
Hey, I like Dooku. Dooku's a lot of fun.
Don't get me wrong. Dooku's great. I just didn't expect because of his position he was going to be able to impact the game.
Yeah, although in retrospect, I probably could have dashed and then climbed.
Yeah, you probably
get the same result. Said the old man takes the ladder. He doesn't want to have to climb. So, but yeah, no. All in all, though, good game. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm looking forward to future ones on this one. Of course, for anyone watching, leave your comments below what you want to see, all that sort of great stuff. Remember, if you want to support the channel, patreon.com/AgesBrandStudios, and we will see you next time. Happy wargaming.